this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel here in Stewartsville, New Jersey at OK4WD Drive. I'm hanging out with Rin. Rin has an awesome four-wheel drive truck with a pop-top camper in the back that he's going to give us a tour of today. So join us. Hi, my name is Rin from OK4WD Drive, and today we're going to tour my 2019 Chevy Colorado ZR2 Bison. This truck started life with the AEV Bison package, so it's got the factory bumpers, front and rear, factory sliders, and also the factory skid plates. On top of that, we've added the AEV Salta XR wheels, the AEV high bar fender flare kit, which allows you to run 35s with a little spacer lift in the front. To handle the weight that we've added on the truck, we've added Old Man Emu 660-pound leaf springs. But besides that, drivetrain-wise, the truck is absolutely stock. On the truck, we have an Alu-cab Canopy camper. This is the 5-foot DC model. So it's basically a lightweight aluminum wedge camper that utilizes your bed for the lower half of the camper to save weight. And then you can kind of kit out the inside as you see fit. To pop it open, you just have two latches on the sides. And the rest is just gas struts. Your bed section inside is also on gas struts. You have a rear entry hatch that allow you to go up inside, enough for a 3-inch mattress and to keep your pillows and all your bedding right in place. And then the whole bed platform can go up as well, so you have more living space when you're hanging out down below. To power the camper, we have a GP Factor power board, which has a Red Arc BCDC 1240 in it. With a Renogy 100 amp hour lithium battery. The GP Factor power board has built-in circuits with circuit protection, so you can power all the accessories within your camper and also your fridge. It's also pre-wired, so you just run one lead to your starting battery, one to your house battery, and you have an extra plug for a fridge if you choose to put one back in the camper as well. Powering the BCDC, it's powered off your starting battery, and there's also two Sunflare 105 watt panels on the roof for a total of 210 watts of solar, which for a camper like this with LED lights and a fridge is more than enough. For the interior layout, you would just have your normal truck bed, but there's options like Goose gear that bolt right in. So it's a no drill system, the base plate bolts down, and then all the modules bolt to it. So you either have utility cupboards, which are basically just a pop top little cupboard like that, which just allows you to keep your gear from rolling around. And you have your actual double drawer modules, which give you a little bit more freedom with stuff flying around, a little bit more organization. With that, we also have two utility cupboards up front, which also are, pop top compatible, so you can keep your stuff in there. And then you have a little section that drops in here to make like a little bench seat, but you can also pop that up top if you need some extra space while you're inside. The water tank up front is an Alu-cab piece that's 13 gallons, which is pretty good if you're doing like a 1 to 2 week trip with some minimal showering, involved in that. We typically run like a water pump out to the side for the shower cube. And then we've also added a GP Factor window on this side, just so you have a little bit of visibility when you're down below here. Because in the winter, your top windows will be zipped up to keep the heat inside. So this just gives you a little bit of an idea of what's going on outside. And then on this side, you have a GP Factor MOLLE plate, kind of in the same place as the window on the other side. It just allows you to mount some items, either with quick fists or like MOLLE style pouches. And then for heat, we actually have a Dickinson marine fireplace. So this is the P9000. So for a little space like this, so about 25 square feet, it keeps things pretty toasty. We'll fire this up real quick. So this Dickinson fireplace is actually mounted with a GP Factor kit that replaces the flexible tubing with a hard exhaust pipe, almost like a car would have. So you have an outer pipe, which is your intake pipe, and then the factory Dickinson pipe within that is the exhaust. So you're burning outside air, so you're not creating condensation in the camper, you're actually creating like a radiant heat. With this heater, you gotta let it run on low for like the first 5 minutes, and then you can actually crank it up. And then it also has a fan built inside of it as well to help distribute the heat throughout the camper. For installation down below, I just have a bed rug. It's just like a typical Velcro and bed rug. It provides a little bit of insulation just with a steel bed. On a Tacoma, for instance, you don't really have to because of fiberglass bed, but the steel beds like this will actually suck a decent amount of heat. On the rear, we do have a screen kit. So if you're cooking on the back and you want to leave the rear door open, you can, which is pretty nice. This just rolls down, and it also has a fabric layer that for insulation as well. So you don't have like a total thermal break with your rear door. On the rear door, we have a GP Factor drop-down table. So this table, this has 2 compression clips, comes down, it's food grade stainless, and you have a cutting board that slides out of the side for prep. And then up top, you just have like your kitchen kit, which is pretty handy. Just little stuff right there, some fire starting stuff, and then also some cleaning supplies and your paper towels mounted right there. On the side, we have the Alu-cab 270 awning, which is this guy right here. So this will actually wrap around all the way to the rear to kind of cover your cooking area. This open. Then it has a little leg in the center to kind of shed some light, like that. The nice thing with the Alu-cab awning is it's self-supported. So if you're stopping for just lunch, or you want to set it up quick, or if you're in a parking lot like this where you can't stake it down, you can still set up your awning as long as it's not super windy. And then the fabric on these awnings is solar reflective. It's got like a pulverized aluminum in it, so it actually reflects heat to keep you a lot cooler. On the back here is the propane tank, which we use for the fireplace. We also have a splitter on it, so I can run my partner stove off the side. We have the Alu-cab can crusher. It's kind of a neat little piece of kit that they make. And then your side doors on the Alu-cab campers can open as well, because the camper actually has a space frame made of extrusion. So the side doors are just thin aluminum doors, they're not actually load bearing. So that gives you a lot of access to the inside of your camper. The brand Alu-cab is out of Cape Town, South Africa. They got their start making aluminum canopies, that's why they're Alu-cab. And then they kind of got into the rental market in South Africa, which you think how people treat a normal rental car, imagine an off-road rental car on corrugated roads. So their products are made for a higher duty cycle than what we see here on about 90% paved roads in the US. So for what we're putting these campers through, they're definitely overbuilt. But that quality will mean that they'll last a long time in our environment. We've been selling them since 2015. We're the North American distributor for them, and they just make a fantastic product that's very versatile. Allows you to still have a pickup truck that you can use off-road and still have a comfortable camp at the end of the day. The Canopy camper itself comes completely empty, basically like an empty Sprinter van, where you can kit it out yourself as little or as much as you'd like. All the accessories bolt into the T-slot, which uses regular M8 hardware, so you don't need proprietary hardware for that. And then basically all these items can be bolted on by their dealer or DIY by the customer. So if you want to just start slow and kind of build it out to your needs, or if your needs, kind of expand, you can go that way, or you can kind of kit it out all in one shot. So in the rear of the truck, we actually took out the factory rear seat. This is a bolt-in kit from Goose that gives you basically a deck all the way across for extra storage, and you can also, mount items like a fridge in the back. We did that in this truck just so you have a little bit more extra space in the camper. And if you're carrying a bunch of items, you can just unclick your truck and throw stuff in your fridge versus having to unlock your whole camper, juggle keys, and get stuff in the back. The fridge itself is a Dometic IM55. Not the biggest fridge in the world, but it's got pretty good capacity for, week-long trips. And then on the other side, we also have some extra space. So if we're not bringing a bunch of stuff, we can actually just throw a cooler in there as well for a little more capacity. The Renogy battery, so it's just a 100 amp hour lithium that we mounted under the Goose gear system as well. On top of the camper, we have 2 Alu-cab load bars, which allow you to carry stuff on top of your roof. Like I personally carry my canoe on top, which is like a 14-foot canoe. Within those 2 load bars, we have 2 105 watt Sunflare solar panels that are wired into the roof. They have a pre-wired plug built into the camper. So it basically can plug right in. You don't have to drill into your camper. And then in front of that, we have a modified front runner roof rack. It's just big enough to throw firewood on. So that way we keep it out of the camper because it makes quite a mess in that little bit of space that we have. Outside of that, the truck has GMRS radio, and it also has an onboard ARB twin compressor under the hood to air up the tires. But other than that, it's completely, pretty stock still as far as other items besides the camper and the winch.
Can you walk us through the process? A customer has a pickup truck and they want to get a camper like this. Mm-hmm. How do they order it? What's the lead time?
So for the Alu-cab stuff, you can go online, either on alucab.com or on OK4WD.com, and there's a configurer that will allow you to choose each option and show you what the cost would be with those options. Lead times on campers are typically 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the time of the year. Because all the items are not built to order, they're all built the same way. It allows us to keep that lead time pretty low, because they're just basically kitted out either by the dealer or by the customer.
And then this gets shipped to OK4WD Drive on a crate.
Yeah.
And then you have the customer come here for the installation?
Correct, yeah. So they come in a container, they're palletized, and then either you can get it installed here, or there's also dealers throughout the whole country that we supply as well. So, if you live in Seattle, you won't have to drive all the way to New Jersey. Thanks for checking out my camper. If you want to see more, check us out at OK4WD Drive or Alu-cab USA. And any questions, feel free to give us a shout or an email.
Thanks for giving us a tour today. I'll make sure I link to your social and the website in the description. This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love it. And we'll see you soon.